Welcome to Decades of Horror, the 1970s.
I'm the vampire. I have existed for centuries in legend, in fantasy, in man's minds, and some say reality.
This is episode 261, reviewing Horror of the Blood Monsters from 1970, recorded January 25th, 2026.
Gruesome Magazine.
I am your host, Doc Rodden, and this podcast is about horror films released between 1970 and 1979. Each episode, my co-host and I will tackle another classic or not so classic film from this wondrous, groovy, gory, and influential decade. Joining me this week are my co-hosts, starting off with Dave Dreyer. How you doing,
sir? Good to go first. Doing the happy dance.
Happy dance indeed. All right. Also joining us is Bill Mulligan, writer, director, special effects guru, all-around nice guy, and published author.
Always with a book within arm's length.
A tour. Ooh.
Did you pick this? Are you responsible for this episode?
I am indeed.
All right. Well, we're going to remember that. Also joining us is Chad Hunt, comic artist, co-host of Decades of Horror, the Classic Era and 70s. This is 70s, also the 80s, and a writer director in his own right at Recap Productions.
What is going on here?
How are you doing, sir?
I am good, Doc. Thanks for asking.
You got it, sir.
I appreciated it.
Oh, man. Tonight, of course, we're reviewing Horror of the Blood Monsters 1970. Before we get into that, let me just give you a little skinny of what's going to happen. We're going to start off with our first impressions. When did we first see this? What do we think? Blah, 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 blah. Then we'll get into a thing called Cast of Characters, where we talk about the characters you see on the screen. And then we'll discuss some of the film itself, from its advertising and to each and every crew member that we put on our list. And then we'll wrap things up with some feedback. Wahoo, are you guys ready to do this?
I think so.
I might not be, but let's do it.
The question is Bill is ready for the backlash he's gonna get?
Might be a little more than that. All right.
It's a diamond in the rough.
Horror of the Blood Monsters, 1970, directed by Al Adamson, written by Sue McNair, cinematographer by Vilmo Sigmund. And cast includes John Carradine, Robert Dix, Vicky Valente, Joey Benson, Jennifer Bishop, Bruce Powers, Fred Myers, and Britt Semin. The production company is Independent International Pictures. The release date was September 18th, 1970 in the U.S. I put the budget down as about approximately $0. I have no idea what it is. The synopsis is 7 astronauts land on a distant prehistoric planet full of dinosaurs, cavemen, vampires, lobstermen, and Batman.
Well, sure enough.
That's it.
Pretty impressive for $0.
All right, so let's find out what we thought of this film, what our first impression was, and all that jazz. We're going to start off with Bill Mulligan.
So I got this VHS tape. I think it was not Sven Gulli. Who was the other guy? Famous horror host. Oh darn! I'm just drawing a blank here.
Zachary.
Anyway, Zachary. Yes,
Zachary.
it was Zachary, and it was just a compilation of different public domain stuff. And it had this sequence where a caveman is fighting a lobsterman, and it looked really cool. And I was like, "What the actual hell is this?" And so that kind of became an obsession, trying to find this. And somehow I found a VHS tape. It had Neil Adams cover. Well, that looks pretty cool. And it had lobstermen on it. I'm like, could it be? And I started watching it. And then I saw directed by Al Adamson. I knew I had made a terrible, terrible mistake and was about to turn it off. And then all of a sudden, Brother Theodore started talking. And I'm like, nope. It was meant to be, because I love me some Brother Theodore. So I watched this whole insano mess. And it's like, just sitting there with my mouth open, like an audience on the producers, and just how did this happen? It's been an obsession of mine. Then, then the internet comes along and the answers appear, and it's just as crazy. And I'm not a fan of Al Adamson's movies, but I do like the story of Al Adamson, except for the unfortunate ending. This movie is it's nuts, but there's just I don't know, there's just something I like about it, that they made something out of pieces and just wormed it together as Al would do, and just added more and more to it. None of it makes a lick of sense. The whole vampire thing in the beginning is never referred to again. It's like he just had this Filipino footage and started just like over beer and pretzels and more beer and still more beer. They just came up with the idea. It's like, well, there's cavemen with fangs, so they must be vampires, but they're on a different planet. And so I guess we'll do a thing where they're going to a planet to try to find out about vampires. John Carradine will work for a bottle of whiskey and a cigar. So, I'll get him. And
I will too, by the way.
Just slapped it all together. Totally forgot about that whole vampire premise at some point. And then someone must have told him, if you put some sex in your movie, it'd sell better. And he's like, well, sure. So he put in what is possibly the most unerotic sex scene ever filmed by anyone not named Andy Milligan. Wow, this movie, it's crazy. This movie's so bad that when they needed some special effects, they raided some from The Wizard of Mars. No one who has ever seen The Wizard of Mars would ever think someone's going to need pieces of this movie to make their movie better. I don't know. This is a movie. This is a Frankenstein movie, and for reasons I cannot obviously explain, I have a deep, abiding love for this movie. And I am alone. I will be alone on this hill. I 100% accept that.
Oh my. All right. Up next is the one and only Dave Dreher. Dave, sir, what did you think of this Al Adamson classic?
Oh, well, yeah, it's a classic. All right. Yes, absolutely. You know what? I do have a soft spot for these directors who just try to make something out of nothing, right? I mean, there's a passion to these type of films that you just don't see anywhere else. It's a horrible movie. Absolutely horrible, with the constantly changing color filters and like you said, storylines that go nowhere. That the opening scene with the vampires and stuff, that's actually pretty good. It's shot well, at least. There's actually some kind of creepiness to that. But again, it goes nowhere. We go from there to being in a spaceship. But again, with that being said, kind of like with Ed Wood and Andy Milligan and the rest of these, they just feel they're creating this masterpiece, and it's just awful. But it kind of, I guess maybe as just a genre fan, it's just kind of endearing. If I ever made a movie, this is probably what it would look like, unfortunately. So it's just a bunch of disjointed ideas that he tried to make look interesting. But everything Bill said is 100% right. Sex scene is ridiculous. We got phallic blinking tubes and electrodes, and I don't know what the hell's going on. But I can't say that I didn't enjoy it on some level. So yeah, I don't know what that says about me.
It might
been around
say
hanging
quite a
out
lot.
with us too long.
Chad, sir, what is your first impression of this thing we watched?
This is the first time I've ever heard of this movie.
The first time you ever heard of it?
Ever heard of it or watched it. So I was like, I'm Dave. The first like 5-10 minutes of this with just the vampires, and then these Brother Theodore explaining, and then we're going to go back and trace the roots of my vampire family or whatever. I said, oh, that sounds like a pretty cool movie. Then I was immediately disappointed after that scene for the rest of the time. And I don't know what Spectrum X is and why it was filmed in it, but somebody needs to leave that crap on the floor, because it just gave me a headache. It was so what they should have did was if one group should have had their own color, and maybe that is how they did it. And another group of actors and their scenes had a different group or a different color, but instead you would get confused as to what scene you were in because the transitions of that was just horrible. And I just did. Oh God. The spaceship with the lawn furniture for chairs. Come on, dude. I just could not get into this movie. And it just went everywhere. I mean, I thought it was a vampire movie, and then we see dinosaurs, and then all right, and then we see cavemen, Batman, lobster men. I was just very confused and wanted to go to bed. So yeah, this is a horrible, horrible film, but I can see where somebody would like it because it is so bad, and the reasons Dave said too. Some of these guys, they tried so hard to make a movie, and it's hard to make films. It's hard to get funding. It's hard to get people. It is hard. So I would never down somebody or try not to that made the effort, because it's hard. But man, I just couldn't get through this movie. It was just so hard. And so yeah, I hated it.
Hated it.
Hated it.
Hated
How
it.
did they do that? 3 snaps in the head there.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'll give you my opinions here in just a second. But first, I didn't do the also known as, and I want to do that right now because this movie has, and I'm not even going to do foreign titles. So it's known as blood creatures from the prehistoric planet, flesh creatures from the prehistoric planet, horror creatures from the prehistoric planet, creatures of the red planet, space mission of the lost planet. That's what it was when it got reissued. The flesh creatures, vampire men of the lost planet, which was its TV and video title. So, oh my goodness. And that craziness of titles kind of reflects what I think about it. It's just a hodgepodge of nonsense shoved together in a semi-fascinating way, but not in the right reasons. We've got Grumpy Carradine barking orders from his lawn chair.
The power.
Yeah, get off my lawn. And we've got everybody watching some other story, which is it's okay. It kind of worked. It kind of worked. It kind of looked like they were watching, because I don't. It doesn't work, but yet
you just said it worked.
Yeah, if you close.
Or you make up your mind, Doc.
Yeah, if you close one eye and don't look out the other, it looks fine. So
helps.
Despite myself, I enjoyed this movie. But it's schlock. It is the schlockiest of schlock. It is my second favorite Al Adamson film, Red Pine, Dracula versus Frankenstein, which I love just for the absurdity of it all. And it's it has a hodgepodge history too. So yeah. This is what is it, psychotronic? You have to do psychotronic, or you just like bad movies, because that's exactly what this is. Yeah.
Speechless.
That's what it is. What else can you do, right? All right. Before we get into some of the other content, we are going to do something we call, and I'll just put it back this way. We'll call it taglines with Chad.
Movie like this has got to have some great taglines.
Oh yeah, I'm just chomping at the bit to read them. Let's see what we got here. All right. Far out, man. Frightening terror, man.
I stand corrected.
I agree with that soundboard bit there, Doc. All new, all color.
That was a big thing in 1970. A movie in color? That's crazy
A new
talk. What
movie?
next? Flying cars?
What do they mean, all new? Oh, and the third one, you'll scream yourself into a state of shock.
We'll give one a clap.
That's the
One
best
o'clock.
one out of the three.
All right.
Not saying much, but there you go, people.
I'm sure there's plenty of others on the foreign ones, but I didn't dive deep. Stuck my toes in. That was enough. But with that is taglines with Chad.
Chad's our hero, cool and rad. With him reading taglines, they can't be that bad. Chad's our hero, cool and rad. With him reading taglines, they can't be that
Two for
bad.
Tuesday.
Chad's our hero,
Stop!
cool and rad. With him reading taglines, they can't be that bad.
Take your
Chad's
finger
our
away from the
hero,
button.
Oh
cool
my
and
God.
rad. With
I
him
can't
reading
stop.
taglines.
Stop.
My
I
wife's
tell you,
wearing
no,
it.
It's almost like this is an
I
Al
must have
Adamson
hit the
production.
button twice or
That's
something.
like-
I guess.
yeah.
Oh my God. All right. We're going to
Thanks, Doc. I guess.
Yeah.
we're, we're going to start a new segment called Cast of Characters, and this should be a lot of fun. John Carradine as Dr. Reining. Dr. Reining is an elderly, cranky, irritable scientist who continually bosses around his crew on the spaceship XB-13. It might be Dr. Whining, if you ask me. But
He was definitely irritable, at least.
he was there. He was there. He was on the ship. He did his thing.
Looks like he left his
Yeah.
dentures at home too.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was certainly the smartest of the bunch.
Well, that's a low bar. But,
Bring me a pear and a straw.
but who pooped in his cornflakes? I mean, he was just. It's like he was a scientist who used to be in The Grapes of Wrath, and now he was in an Al Adamson movie.
Yeah, but he was doing a lot of that. We'll find out.
Yeah.
about
Oh
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're being chased by crab monsters, Doc. What do you want me to do about it?
Whatever.
Bring me an aspirin.
Up next is Brett Simmons as Linda. Linda's a part of the small crew led by Dr. Reining and travels to the mysterious planet of Spectrum X. Yeah, sure.
Even by Al Adamson standards, she was not a great actress.
Spectrum X.
That's-
Could it be that those clips were in black and white and they just needed to incorporate color into them somehow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're catching on, Chad. You're
Yeah.
catching on.
Okay.
First of all,
But
if you're in a spaceship with zero gravity, you cannot have someone like this getting hair everywhere and just like
Well, she's
be like trying to fight through the Sargasso Sea with all that hair.
all in place.
We can't look for any type of logic from this movie. What are you talking about?
All right. Bruce Powers as Commander Steve Bryce. Steve Bryce is the mission commander of the XB-13 spacecraft, often described as dull hero or dunderhead astronaut. It's not wrong.
You gotta love that futuristic weapon he's holding.
Yeah, and the spacesuit.
It's like
Straight
it's
from
like
the Civil War.
one step above a blunderbuss. It's
Look at he's got an ascot though, right? So,
Is that an ascot? I thought it was a T-shirt.
standard issue uniform.
it might
If
be
that's an ascot, I'm picking my computer up and throwing it against the wall right now.
all right. Up next, we have Joey Benson as Willie. Willie is a crew member of the XB-13 spacecraft. He falls in love with Lion Malayan, a girl from the peaceful Tagani cave tribe.
Hey, Wooly.
Yeah, Willie. But he was the most optimistic of the bunch.
He was a sarcastic one.
But he did find true love.
Did he? And then he left her there.
No, he didn't. Yeah, he did, but not by his own.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
He never married again after that. He found the woman he loved.
With
He
all
was
the
a
radiation,
free
I don't
Willy.
know much else. Oh, he's a free.
Free Willy.
Free Willy.
Oh. All right, we have Fred Myers as Bob Scott. Bob accompanies another crew member, Willie.
These names are so uninspired. What's my character's name? Bob Scott. Go away.
I'm Bob Scott.
He was a bit dull too.
Oh, wait. I have a correction. I'm actually Scott Bob. Well, it's an understandable.
Robert Scott. Well, you know.
Well, it beats Fred Myers.
Ooh. That's kind of.
Just call me
All
Bob
right,
Scott.
all right. Then we have Jennifer Bishop as Leanne McLean, or Mullian. I put the C in there just for fun.
So she belongs
That's
to-
part of the whole movie.
Yeah, she belongs to a tribe of Filipino people, and she is not Filipino.
Hey, don't.
Again,
don't-
something you
don't
can hide
judge.
with Spectrum
Don't-
X.
don't
That's true.
judge.
Spectrum X hides a lot of sins.
Don't judge. Don't judge.
Where's okay.
But she did a thing. She did a thing. Now we go from humdrum to useless. This is Robert Dix, Dr. Manning.
This is Elvis.
Oh my God. These two, we'll get to the other one here.
Oh,
in a second,
yeah.
are
Listen,
just-
half the time when we see these two, it's a still picture. It's like a still photo, frozen, and it's just like, oh man, I don't.
yeah,
Yeah,
like when
he's
when there's see the back of their heads, it is.
Uh-huh.
literally. Yeah.
Vince Vaughn's dad.
Another time you just see them on as a talking floating head on a black background.
Right.
But they did get some scenes in a room. This is
Yeah.
Vicky Volante as Valerie.
Valerie. She was cute.
And then what is it, Bill? You described it. What
The
did
most
they do?
unerotic sex scene ever filmed.
Yes. Dave, did it choke you up? Were you did that? Were you like, don't piss on my sex scene? Oh my gosh! But let's get some of the fun things here. This is the fastest going through the cast of characters we're going to do. The vampire,
There weren't much
caveman,
characters.
which
Jeez.
Yeah.
yeah,
The
I think this is
Yeah.
the point where I texted the chat and said, "Damn, Bill, what's going on?" Or something like
but you
that.
can't blame this entirely on Al.
No,
no,
you
no,
can't.
no,
But
absolutely not.
At the same time, you can.
Yeah.
But
So,
it is-
so he looked because that opening scene with the vampires, they've got the stupidest fangs ever. And you're like, why would you do that? But then it's like, I guess he wanted to be consistent with the stupid fangs from the Filipino movie that he's ripping off. So they had stupid looking fangs.
he's not ripping it off. He actually had bought the rights for it.
I mean, yeah, that's true. That is true. He did.
Yeah.
Artistically, he's right.
Bastardizing it might be a better word, but
And
who knows? I don't know if I've ever
regrettably,
seen
the only opportunity we have to see that movie is in this one because no one's been able to actually find a copy
it.
of the original, even though it was released in America under different titles and stuff, and there were at least 3 different versions of it. Nobody's found a version. There is a trailer on YouTube, and that's all we have.
That's all we have.
And Horror of the Blood Monsters, the stuff that was used. Tinted.
Interesting. And then there's the lobster men or crab men. They were
Crab people.
large claws, bug-like heads.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were funny. I enjoyed the scene for your silly stupidity.
That's the scene that got me obsessed with this film. I was like, what the heck? Because the costumes are pretty good. And, it's real practical effects. Those poor actors had to submerge themselves in these, no doubt, filling with water, uncomfortable, easy to drown in costumes.
One of them's still there today.
And then we have our Batman mutants.
This was hilarious.
Talk about Elvis. Look at
They
those.
did fly around.
They sort of.
Kind
You'll
of.
believe a man can dangle from a wire.
But yeah, well, I mean, and then we got a variety of other, dinosaurs from other movies, which
We had the Snake Men too. That I couldn't get a decent picture of them. They were terrible. Little snake dangling off their chest. Just
Oh yeah. That is it. Were they
Oh,
Snake
yeah.
Men? I thought that was the mutantness of it. But anyway, yeah.
Hey, look,
so
we
let's
got
get it.
snake men. See, look at that, and they show a cool looking one with like big ass snakes coming off this guy.
Oh
Like,
no,
that'd be
they're just
cool.
like little.
We got like a pencil just wiggling around.
I didn't even really catch it. That was a snake. I thought it was. I didn't know what it was. They were just like trying to chop them off. It was like hilarious. But yeah, look at that. And yeah, Chad, who does the artwork here?
It's a Neil Adams.
Did you
Yep.
know he did this?
I did not. I did
I
not
didn't even know this film existed.
Yeah, I
much
didn't
less-
know this. Yeah.
And you know, this kind of tracks with. I always had the feeling sometimes back in the day when you saw a comic book with an unusually great cover, and then you opened it up and it's like the artist who did the cover was not in there. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
this is going to be some subpar material here. And a lot of times it was, because it'd be like a fill-in issue. Sorry, gang, the dreaded deadline doom caught up with us, so we're gonna interrupt the conclusion of the Kree-Skrull War with this amazing one-shot by someone who hacked it out years ago. Has just been sitting there, and that was enough time to get Neil Adams to actually finish a cover.
Yeah, this
Is
is
that
like
better than
pretty
just-
much like a late 70s Hulk comic. You got
Yeah.
a Michael Golden cover, then you've got
Oh yeah.
Jack Abel or somebody doing the art
Oh,
on it.
Yeah. No offense to Mr. Abel, but you know, Michael Golden was
He was, yeah, man. Micronauts 1 through 12.
uh-huh.
That's 12 run series of that year.
Avengers Annual 10, yeah, some good stuff.
Just me. I'm the only one that enjoyed it, but I don't know if anybody else collected Micronauts.
Okay. Congratulations, you have just doomed us to a 12-page letter from Jerry Chandler where he will tell you
Oh,
about how great the Micronauts were, and I can't disagree.
as a comic, yeah. Until, well,
Yeah,
they
all
buried
good
it.
things come to an end.
So here's another one. Also,
I don't know what language. Monstros,
monster hamburgers. Yeah.
monster hamburgers.
No, it's not monster hamburgers. But
They were just
Yeah.
cut and paste bits of Neil Adams, because if you got a Neil Adams poster, for God's sakes, use it.
yeah, but this guy didn't.
No.
This looks like a more recent poster
Yeah.
for it too.
Well, it's by the description. It's a space mission, right? This was a reissue because it and obviously because the other one was when they the GP, right? Because the first one has GP on it, doesn't it? Yeah, GP, and then this has PG when they switched it around and renamed it.
Thank God he stuck that sex scene in there to get a PG rating.
And then we have this one. Looks like a
comic book.
no.
It looks like a comic book, but I think
but
this
it's
might have
got-
been a video. I think this was a video cover.
Yeah, one of the many video covers. Here's the poster for the original film. So tell us about this.
Okay, so I've seen it mostly called Tagini, and that is the English version of, but this is Caravang Bato, and there's multiple versions of it because I guess there's like maybe 3 languages that they were speaking in the Philippines at the time. And it's obviously, from what we've been able to piece together and what we can see from Horror of the Blood Monsters, it's a Filipino version of 1 million BC. But they didn't even have the lizards that they had back then, so they kind of went in a different direction with some more. To me, it kind of reminded me of Flash Gordon, where Mongo has all those different races of people. It's the Hawkman and the Lava Man and the Mudman and the whatevers. So I don't know. That looked pretty cool, and I really like the sections that are taken from Tagani, and I wish they would find it. I'd love to have a decent copy of that, untinted, so I could see things better. Because it's also got a lot of energy when those guys are fighting, and the whole movie seems to be just cavemen fighting each other and fighting monsters. They're really taking swings at each other sometimes. I don't think there are any stuntmen in this movie. It's just, you're a Batman today. We're gonna wrap you up in a wire. Try not to fall.
Try not to fall. Ah!
My costume stinks.
All right, so you have this thing.
Okay, so just to
what-
explain Al Adams, the thing about Al Adams, he's a lot like George Lucas. I just want to say this is the first time in the history of ever that anyone has had the words Al Adams and George Lucas in the same sentence. But just like George Lucas refuses to stop dicking around with his previous movies, like I'm going to take the guns out of E.T. I'm going to, Han's going to shoot second, and all these. Okay. So Al would make a movie like Psycho a Go-Go, Murder to a Watusi Beat. I have no idea what Psycho a Go-Go was about, but it was basically just a bad, drama, crime, psycho slasher movie kind of thing. And it did poorly. So he went back and shot some new stuff and turned it into The Man with the Synthetic Brain. And now it's got a guy who I guess he's a Psycho a Go-Go because he was operated on and was given a synthetic brain. And that didn't do so great either. So he went back and dicked around with it some more, shot some new stuff, took some other stuff out, probably took some other things from a previous movie, slapped it together, and came out with Blood of Ghastly Horror, and it finally made money. So you might have gone to see what you thought were 3 completely different movies with completely different titles, completely different posters, and apparently one would think completely different premises, only to discover you're watching the same Al Adamson movie with just a few tweaks and nudges here and there. And you would burn down the theater in a rage, climb on top of a tower with a sniper rifle, and get taken down by the Marines. I mean,
just like the guy in the graphic.
Just like the guy in the graphic here. No, he got me again. Can you imagine you could go to the video store and just grab what you think is a bunch of movies for your weekend enjoyment just to find out it's just 3 Al Adamson movies that are all connected together. And this is true for a lot of his stuff. So like even Dracula versus Frankenstein, I think started out as maybe a sequel to Satan's Sadist. It was a motorcycle gang movie. And then that wasn't working out so great. So he got Leo G. Carroll and Lon Chaney Jr. and made it into a slasher kind of thing.
That was pretty awesome.
That was, amazing. I think she thinks she's a flying squirrel. And then it's like, Bob, none of this is working. Let's do a movie where Dracula bites Frankenstein and turns him into a vampire, and they do some of that. But then the fangs kept falling out of his ugly face, so they got rid of that. And we ended up with Dracula versus Frankenstein. It's just, this is the Al Adamson way: is make a movie and keep screwing around with it until you finally come up with a version that makes money, which seems to be just make it more and more incoherent.
Maybe that's part of the charm. It's like it's
it is part of the charm. I mean, really, like what Dave was saying, there's something endearing about people who don't have the talent but don't let them stop. They don't let that stop them. They're going to make a movie anyway. Yesterday I was at the Nevermore Film Festival in Durham. If anyone ever gets a chance to go to Nevermore, it's an absolutely fantastic horror festival. The people who run it just do a terrific job. It's at the Carolina Theater on a big screen. Everything's cool. The filmmakers are there. And I got to tell you, man, the quality of mostly low budget short films and some features, it has just taken a quantum leap. As Hollywood is just dying on the vine, the indie people are stepping up to the plate and making amazing stuff. But
indeed. Because they're not restricted by
and but there's that, and also what comes through. And now Al's movies would never play at Nevermore, ever. They would cancel the festival before they'd show an Al Adamson movie. But the one thing he shares with those people is there's clearly just a love of making movies, of putting it together by hook or by crook. I've got all this footage here. It's in black and white. What do I do? How do I explain it's in black and white? Use a filter, and now it's not in black and white. It's just green or blue or blood red or whatever. And
yellow.
That's kind of genius, and all it takes, how are we going to explain this? Like, tell Theodore to rant about, the strange chromatic radiation. Okay, fine. See, we've established it. Now shut up. All right. And first it was yellow, then it was red, then it was green. We never actually see it change color. It just, when we cut, suddenly it's yellow. Boy, yeah, that works. Spectrum X. The new motion picture miracle of Spectrum. Why has there never been another movie in Spectrum X? Has anyone wondered that?
Humanity wasn't ready for it.
Yeah, no,
Still is not. Still isn't.
still isn't.
All right. Well, who is Al Adamson?
Well, he was.
Man, I
right?
really thought that was a mocked up version of what he really looks like, but he really looks like that.
Yeah.
This is Al Adamson as a werewolf.
Oh my God.
I would put Al on my Mount Rushmore of, I don't want to say bad, although at least 3 of them are, kind of schlocky genre filmmakers. It would be Al Adamson, Larry Buchanan, Loch Ness Horror Jerry, yes, admit it. Andy Milligan, and then the one who I think actually had some talent, which would be Ray Dennis Steckler. You know, 4 guys who had almost no resources, but didn't let that stop them. They just kept on going, kept on chugging along. Maybe long after the thrill of living was gone, but kept on doing it.
I like that reference.
And he wasn't a particularly good filmmaker, but he made a lot of films. He made a lot in a lot of different genres. He tried everything. He would do black exploitation. Horror was big for. I'll do science fiction. What the heck? Kids love that. E.T. I'll do Horror of the Blood Monsters. Whatever. Did a whole bunch of things. And I wish he was still with us because I've enjoyed some of the interviews that I've seen with him. And is sort of being rediscovered now because his story is
We'll get to
an
that.
interesting one. We'll get there.
We got a couple. Yep. Let's look at his films first. You said he did a lot of films. Tell us about these.
Well, we got Brain of Blood, which is I don't know which one it started out with, but it ended up as Brain of Blood. It's when you watch it, you can almost see where this movie stops and a new movie begins. And Satan's Sadist, which I think was maybe one of his biggest hits, a motorcycle movie. Dracula versus Frankenstein, which we've done, and it is what it is.
That's probably his best known one, right?
I think it is probably his best known.
Yeah,
it's so terrible, but he would do comedy too. Now, Al Adamson comedies, they're not funny. They're not funny. Comedy is difficult. But they're funnier than Andy Milligan's comedies. So got that going for him. Not as funny as Ray Dennis Steckler's. Blazing Stewardesses. I mean, okay, so obviously Blazing Saddles must have made a lot of money. And the Stewardesses made a lot of money. And Al's, quite rationally is Blazing Stewardesses. Does that have anything to do with the movie at all? I haven't seen this movie, or at least if I have, I've forgotten it. It would not shock me if there were no stewardesses in Blazing Stewardesses. That is completely within the possibility of an Al Adamson movie.
Maybe dinosaur clips.
Yeah, maybe Brother Theodore comes up at the very end. He goes, "Oh, those women were stewardesses. Now go home." Nurse Sherry is a possession movie. The poster looks like a porno flick, but it's and then Blood of Dracula's Castle is just whoosh.
I remember Nurse Sherry coming to the drive-in near us when it came out.
Yeah, I think it
was one of his later films, right?
And I think it was pretty successful.
Yeah, and I wanted to go see it, but Dad wouldn't take me. I was a kid.
And he did westerns. He did. He did a lot of stuff.
I'm not going to that one.
He did whatever he thought was going to make money, and it amazes me that his movies didn't make a lot of money because they didn't cost a lot of money.
Well, any money they made is probably. Yeah. Chad, how many of these films have you seen?
I have seen Dracula versus Frankenstein, and that's it.
That's it, Dave.
Yeah, Dracula versus Frankenstein. I want to say I seem to have a recollection of seeing Nurse Sherry, but I don't remember when or why. It was probably maybe as a triple bill on a drive-in thing.
Probably was.
When did that come out? Was it
It was the late 70s.
Yeah, I think it was,
Yeah, I think it was like third billing at a drive-in. Probably with the Boogeyman and something else. But yeah, and of course Satan's Sadist is, I've seen that on video. But the others, Blazing Stewardesses, I'm I'm kind of lost with that one. I don't know, but I have to admit, I kind of want to see it now. I kind of
Brain
want
of-
to see I kind of want to see Stewardesses on Fire. I can't help it.
There is a way to see Brain of Blood in a way that I can almost guarantee is entertaining. I believe Brain of Blood was done by the cinematic Titanic people, which are like the Mystery Science Theater people in a later gig. I'm pretty sure they did Brain of Blood, or at least some Adamson movie.
I like the cover art for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
Oh yeah. Well, you know, I like the cover art for Horror of the Blood Monsters. Once again, suckers.
Yep. Yeah, I've seen Dracula versus Frankenstein a number of times. I even saw it at this. There was it was the same place where I saw War that same year, but they would play this thing called psychotronic movies. That was what they would have them like every Saturday or every other Saturday or something. Whenever it was in the afternoon before the bands would come, and I remember going to a couple films there, and Dracula versus Frankenstein was so much fun in a crowd that knew what the film was.
You know, Dracula vs. Frankenstein would be a fun movie if it had been filmed by the guys who filmed this movie. It's like that ending is such a wet fart of an ending because you can't see what's going on. Listen, all these people that are wasting,
dark too.
They're killing rainforests by making AI generated Facebook slop of dead actors being hugged by themselves with angel wings. Would you please just use all this creativity and go back and give us a version of the ending of Dracula Frankenstein I can actually flippin' see?
I don't think there's enough information there to know.
Oh yeah, even AI can't figure it out. I give up. I'm killing myself. Yeah. A good cover though. Again, look at that's a great cover. What do I want from a Dracula versus Frankenstein movie? I want Dracula and Frankenstein choking the life out of each other, and that's what you get.
Yeah,
and maybe that's what happened at the ending too. I don't know.
They try. All right, now we have very sad ending to.
So that's Al at top. Happier Times. Now, a frequent actress in his movies was Regina Carroll, she wasn't a great actress, but she was cute, and you know there was a likability to her. They fell in love and got married. She was his leading lady, and they were married until her death at a unfortunately young age from cancer. And just a few years later, things got worse. So Al had largely retired from filmmaking and stuff, and had some local handyman working on his ranch or whatever. And then Al disappeared, and people were concerned because, you know, the only person who they could contact was this handyman. And it was like, oh, Al's on vacation or whatever. They made a true crime thing out of this. I forget which show it was on. And eventually Al was missing for 5 weeks, and they found him. He was in the ground. They were over the guy killed him. They bludgeoned him to death, put him in a hole, filled it up with cement, and put a whirlpool tub on top, which sounds like the plot of an Al Adamson movie.
Yeah. Well, the article says he was in the whirlpool, and then he was filled with cement and tiled over. So.
Oh, so they put him in the world. Okay, so they put him in the tub, filled it with cement. Okay, so this is Fred Fulford, master criminal here. Yeah.
And
don't let local handymen live in your house. There's the reason why they're between jobs.
Don't generalize like that. How many
crimes is meanwhile police were interrogating local handyman Earl Befitz whatever, and sure enough, yeah.
Poor Earl. Did they catch us?
Oh yeah, they got him.
Yeah, I did it.
I don't know.
He snored loud.
He certainly not in the whirlpool. That I know.
Oh man,
so he went to jail for hopefully die there.
Hopefully. Yeah. All right, let's talk about Vilmos Sigmund, who did the cinematography on the first
some
part.
Of it. I'm pretty sure because for reasons.
Look what he did after.
I'm almost sure he did the opening stuff with vampires. It's got that it's really sharp and well lit. It's obviously low budget and everything, but it looks so much better than most of the rest of the movie. I don't know. For all I know, he was responsible for everything, but I'm 100% sure, unless someone writes in and tells me I'm 100% wrong, that he did the opening vampire stuff. And, everyone's got to start somewhere. Well, this guy ended up filming Deliverance, The Deer Hunter, Close Encounters, The Ghost in the Darkness. I mean, these are movies that, not just great movies, but movies where you stand up and say, this is some amazing cinematography.
Yeah.
Boy, this guy never made crap for Al Adamson, but you'd be wrong.
Even Witches of Eastwick was a beautifully shot film.
I mean,
I love the way that Deliverance poster captures the eyeball of,
I will confirm, if the trivia on IMDb is correct, that the newly filmed sequences were indeed filmed by Vilmos Zsigmond, future Oscar winner.
But everything other than the cavemen stuff is
they don't specify. It doesn't specify.
Because again, the vampire stuff feels like it's from a completely different movie, because we never referred to it again. This whole mission is supposed to be to go find the source of the Tubiton vampires, but then by the end of the movie,
you forgot about him.
John Carradine's just like, the chromatic radiation will kill them soon enough. It's like, oh well, so this was pointless.
Oh my! All right, John Carradine.
He doesn't look happy.
I was getting ready to say.
Why would John Carradine not be happy? Well, here's some of the movies he was making around the time he made this one, and you can draw your own conclusions.
Dave, what do you think of this selection of films?
Sorry, I've been muting myself because I keep coughing, and I didn't think you guys would want to hear that. Yeah. You know what? I don't think of John Carradine when I look at any of these movies. I don't know why, but I don't.
That's true.
I always think of them, more the, back in the day, the classic ones. But yeah, there's not a lot of good stuff here.
Well,
hey, at least he was working.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
Can't
take
by
anything
working,
from him, right?
Like he was called in for a day, and they just sat him down in a chair, and he's like, "What am I doing?" He goes, "Just say the power as many times as you can before your voice gives out." Okay, and then he did, and they paid him, and he left.
Yep, he was definitely a day player. The Mummy, Curse, and the Jackal, or is it Of the Jackal?
The Mummy and the Curse of the Jackal.
Mummy and the Curse of the Jackal.
Yeah,
that wasn't it a lost film? Or
it should be.
It should be.
But no,
I just recently heard about it.
Yeah, there's always been like a really, at least as far as I know, from the first time I heard about it, there was a really crap copy floating around, and I've been told that there is a slightly less crap copy that's now gotten a bit of a release. But holy smokes, is it terrible? And supposedly the director, who was like an old cowboy actor or something, or cowboy director, was senile at the time.
Oh no!
And I
Rory Calhoun.
I did a search for it. I did a search for it because I made a film. I made 2 films actually on the property of this wonderful character actor, Bill Drake, who was a retired guy. He worked in nuclear power plants, but before that, he was a cowboy actor and had all kinds of great stories. It's one of the great regrets of my life. I didn't just sit down and videotape him talking about all these stories. And he insisted he was in that movie. And I found that bad copy, and I can't find him in it, but he might have been the Mummy or the Jackal. I don't know. There was, but boy, is it bad. Oh, is it bad? Filmed in Vegas, and this is
Oliver
me
Drake.
talking.
Oliver Drake is the director.
Yeah. I don't know. I just look at John Carradine. Just what's going through his head, I was on the Grapes of Wrath.
I mean, he did direct 41 things.
Yep. Oh, Arnold Drake. Yeah. But I saw an interview. I remember reading an interview in the Monster Times where they were interviewing John Carradine, and he was not having any of it because, okay, you're the Monster Times. All you want to talk about are his monster movies. All he wanted to talk about was anything but his monster movies. And the guy actually had the nerve to, he's like, how about this one? And you can see he's just getting steamed. He goes, How about Billy the Kid versus Dracula? And he's like, you've seen all my bad movies. Have you seen any of my good ones? You know, or no, he said, you know, some great movies. And he used Billy the Kid versus Dracula as an example of one of his great movies. And Carradine was outraged. That's not one of the great ones. This was a great one.
Okay, Astro's on.
It just gets worse and worse.
Yeah.
There he is. He's more grumpiness going on.
Trying to
These are
help
pretty
him
good
up.
picks.
Get away from me.
Yeah, you've got a trash can lid as a door to your spaceship, and
What?
Yeah, let's say. Oh, it is.
and yard furniture for your seats.
Hey, you know,
Front of your crew to sit in.
they made a spaceship regardless.
Yep.
All
Don't you love
right.
the computers that are the big wheels that are spinning around?
Yeah,
Yeah.
My dad worked at IBM, and occasionally we go into IBM. And that's what they had, these giant machines with these little spinning things, and it cracks me up when they show it. And in the future, they have even bigger wheels with, you know, the computers got bigger and bigger and bigger. And the reality is, in the future, the computers got smaller and smaller until, you know, we finally got these. And yeah, that was a wrong guess. Lots of blinking lights and spinning wheels.
Hey,
Future.
you gotta bedazzle them.
Yeah.
But here's Jennifer Bishop,
Mhm.
who was on a very popular TV show for my parents, at least.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, he
yeah.
on every day.
Cutting edge humor there.
It was
Cutting
Okay.
edge country
Okay.
humor. There's
Okay.
a difference.
At this point, you know, when I'm like, you know, between 5 and 10, there's one TV in the house, and we all watched it together. And Saturday was He All.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Lawrence Welk.
The jokes
Yeah.
are funny. Listen, some jokes are funny. You know. Hey, Cletus, where are you going? Fishing. You got worms? Yeah, but I'm going fishing anyway. Doot 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 doot.
Oh my God. Well, the whole thing about what was
Oh, gosh.
there was a couple. What was the one when they were standing side by side?
Well, where are you tonight? Why did you leave me here? Yeah, that was
Yeah,
great.
yeah, I remember that.
And
Yeah.
then who was the guy who was actually a really phenomenal guitar player? Was it?
Roy Clark.
Roy Clark.
Man.
Yeah.
Roy
Buck
Clark.
Yeah, every now and then,
Absolutely.
because he's like, you know, Buford the Hick and everything, and then every now and then he'll take out his guitar and start like, you know, Jimi Hendrix.
He
Like,
was on.
damn.
He was on The Odd Couple once,
Yes.
and he was playing the guitar on The Odd Couple, and you would have thought Eddie Van Halen or somebody was. I mean, his hand was moving so fast you could hardly see it. He was an amazing guitar player.
Yeah.
You know who else was really good? Charo. It was like blows
Yeah,
you away. 'Cause
yeah.
She was just like, oh my God, she would just come on the whatever Merv Griffin show, whatever, and do Charo for 10 minutes.
Good.
Who is this annoying woman who, you know, is butchering every language known to me? And then occasionally it's like, so give her a guitar, and you're like, oh, this is going to be lame. And like, oh no, Charo had some mad skills. You know, people were multi-talented back then. You know, to be a star, they gave you dancing lessons and singing lessons and guitar lessons and acting lessons. Usually one of those would stick.
So she was in Mako? Jaws of Death?
Mako, Jaws of Death, which is a cross between, okay, imagine Willard, Carrie, and Jaws all mixed together.
I'd rather not.
Yeah.
All right, that's immediately on our list.
Of course, if it's bad.
And then
Another
is that
show.
a Rowan and Martin movie?
And Rowan and Martin. So Rowan and Martin did Laugh-In.
Laughing.
And that was a big hit. So of course they had to make a movie, and they did one called The Maltese Bippy. And you know when I said comedy is hard?
Is that an illustration of it?
Maltese Bippy is not funny. I mean, those two guys were funny on Laugh-In, but
Because we're doing skits, right?
yeah, and they're trying to play characters here, and I don't know who's who. It was Dick Martin was the guy without the mustache, right? Or was that Rowan? I don't know. Whichever one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Martin was the one without the mustache. Yeah.
Dick Martin was okay because he was kind of a dim character, and that could be played for laughs. Rowan had no presence. I watched this because I really liked Rowan and Martin. This, by the way, is a horrible.
Dan Rowan? Was it Dan
yeah.
Rowan? Yeah.
And it was on TV, and I'm watching it, and I was like, oh, okay, when are we getting to the funny parts here? It was really weird with watching these guys who just were good at jokes, quips, one-liners, and now suddenly they have to do characters. And one of them was okay, and the other one was not, but it was.
I love that when we're talking about Jennifer Bishop, and we talked about everything other
except Jennifer Bishop.
Jennifer Bishop.
Remember Hee Haw?
He was in the things that we were talking about. So there.
I mean,
but we're going to go from Bishop to Dix. What did I say? Robert Dix.
I heard that.
He did stuff.
Yeah, Forbidden Planet. That's something you could put on your resume, and it's probably the only thing he wanted to put on his resume because
Frankenstein's daughter.
We're gonna have to do that on the classic era because I love me some Frankenstein's daughter. That's the best thing about that is the makeup man was unaware that it was Frankenstein's daughter.
Yes.
And made her look like a werewolf.
He made a well, that was one, but then the actual monster is a 100% male character, and it was too late to change anything, so they just smeared some lipstick on it, and now it's a female.
Oh my God!
Isn't that how it goes in real life? You just smear lipstick on it.
Yep, lipstick on a pig.
Oh,
but he was in Forbidden Planet, and I can't say that, so hey.
Yep. But he, Blood of Dracula's Castle, Satan's.
Yeah.
Looks like he did a number of Al Adamson films.
Al had an entourage that he stuck with, which could probably sum up as people who would take that paycheck, which I'm sure was not very high.
Yeah, it was more like, "Oh, this will at least get me out of the house."
Yeah, right.
All right. Well, then we have I guess the open narrator, right? Brother Theodore.
I know I'm doing a lot of the talking here, but I'm the only one. I picked this movie. This is the main reason I picked this movie. Theodore Gottlieb, aka Brother Theodore. They do not make him like this anymore. He's a guy who, escaped from Europe, probably 2 steps ahead of the Nazis or something, came here, very well educated, brilliant man, and portrayed a madman. A ranter. The older he got, the better he was. He did a lot of stuff off Broadway where it was just him monologuing, not really stand up, not really storytelling, monologuing, and people would go every weekend because he would change it up. And he just played this lunatic philosopher who would go on these long rants, and boy could he rant. Great voice. He probably is best known to most people because David Letterman invited him on one day and knew he had lightning in a bottle here. And so he made over a dozen appearances on The Late Show and was kind of the butt of the joke. But, that was okay. He got exposure and stuff. And basically he would just come out and Dave would say, "So how was your week?" And then sit back while Brother Theodore ranted and raved. And then Dave would throw in some quip just to get him all riled up. And it went on. It was like the Iron Sheik, you could just ask him a few questions and just let him go nuts. But then he was in some movies. His voice is so distinctive. He's Gollum in The Hobbit. Not the modern version, the animated version.
The animated one, yeah.
He's something in The Last Unicorn. I know that's a big popular one. He actually played more or less himself in The Burbs.
Mm-hmm.
Was he the neighbor that was in the house, the creepy neighbor?
Yeah.
Or was he a different
one of them? Yeah.
Okay.
And there's Nocturna. I didn't include it here because it's so sad, but he was also in a porno parody of Jaws called Gums. I actually saw at a movie theater. And I'm sure I've said this about other things, but I want to say, no matter what I've said about Andy Milligan or Al Adamson, if you want to see a sex movie that will make you want to swear off sex for the rest of your life, Gums. It is not funny, not sexy, not well made, but it's got Brother Theodore, who I hope he thought he was just making this movie is so incompetent. It's a porn movie where during the actual porn scenes, they superimpose cartoons so you can't tell what's going on.
His name was Captain Carl Clitoris.
Yes, it was.
We're going to change Bill's name to Bill Sticky Floor Mulligan.
Oh
He,
man.
he also he also voiced Golem and Schmeagol in Return of the King,
Yeah.
animated one too. And he in The Last Unicorn he played Rook, Ruhk. I still don't know who that character is, but
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen The Last Unicorn.
I've not.
I probably need to rectify that because it is quite fondly. It always shows up on those lists of, animated movies that traumatized us. Watership Down, The Last Unicorn, yeah, Plague Dogs. Okay, well, that's worth checking out then.
all right. And then we go to there was a reason why you have this one. This was the I Am a Vampire.
I Am the Vampire. This is the opening, which, like Dave was saying, it's pretty well shot. The little floating heads and everything. And
Pretty creepy.
I mean, okay. Yeah. I mean, all right. It's the old trick of putting the flashlight under your face when you're telling the spooky story at a campfire, but it works. There's a reason why these things are done.
It works
looks like Harvey Korman.
It does.
Oh my God.
Now you just get a little vampire Tim Conway to make him break character.
Oh my God.
But it's also got it. There's an Al Adamson sound effect that he uses all the time. It's a girl screaming, and it shows up in all of his trailers. It shows up in this here, there's the heavy breathing. I think it might just be Al breathing into the microphone or whatever. He had a couple of bits that he would just use over and over again, like his version of the Wilhelm scream. Because this looks like it was all shot completely silent. Because they knew they were just going to put some narration and a limited amount of Foley and background music.
I mean, this is what got my interest in it. I said, this is going to be an interesting movie if the rest of it is like this. And
Sucker.
It wasn't. None of the rest
it
of it.
wasn't. No, it was the extreme opposite of what I thought it was going to
Then
be.
we wander over the
Total
spaceship
shit.
set that was made in someone's shed.
It might have been in the shed. All right. Spectrum X. The tent that will not go away.
Yep. It made the caveman
Prince
stuff
from
hard
outer
to see.
space.
When they tinted everything blue, it was like I can barely tell what's going on. Yep, this is an Al Adamson joint. Color effect, Spectrum X. The nerve, the chutzpah, the gall. They just tinted it and just pretended like they came up with a new technique that'll revolutionize the world of color photography. Spectrum X.
They're just throwing Jello on the lens.
Jello. Lime Jello. Oh man. There's
the Tubiton vampires. What a goofy name.
Oh my gosh.
I noticed that though, a lot of foreign movies, when they do vampires, they really go nuts with the fangs.
Yeah.
Like, to the point where they could not actually function as fangs. We can't open our mouths that wide.
Like tusks,
they're
right?
tusks, yeah. Tusk. More for show.
They work. All right. Then you have some of the critters and other things.
1 million year. Oh, so there's the snake men on top. You can see that little waggly snake sticking out of his shoulder.
Yeah.
If you look real carefully.
Yeah, right as his hairline. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we've got shots from 1 million BC. Has there ever been a movie that's been used more often than the dinosaur shots from 1 million BC? I've watched those poor lizards fight each other 1,000 times.
They have indeed.
Kings of public domain.
Yeah.
That's what they should call it.
I mean, and okay. He integrated the scenes in a way that you can follow. I mean, they're looking and you see what they see. I mean, it's stupid, but
Look over there.
They stitched it together in a way that was semi-coherent, I thought.
No, you could follow what was going on. He got a movie out of it.
I'm not gonna win that argument at all. Ever.
No.
Chad's just like, I'm not gonna say
No,
anything.
I'm not gonna.
Let's see. There's a Batman. And of course, everyone's favorite little lobster men. I think they're kind of cute with their little dealy bobber antenna and googly eyes.
Look at the one looking over to the left
Yeah.
or his right. That's
No, I don't think it's on purpose.
No, probably not.
He probably doesn't know where he's looking.
You looking at me or him? I don't know.
He's like, hey, Bob, what are we doing in this floor? Can we get up now?
Melt some butter. Pretty tasty.
Melt some butter. Oh, God, what's happening here?
There's some forced perspective. Boy, you know, I'm going to shock you guys, but actually that model is probably only about this big. I know the way it's filmed, it looks like it's an actual spaceship. Probably.
Are you sure, Bill? Because it looks like it's huge.
Oh, huge. You know, it's on top of some gigantic boulders, not pebbles, as you might think. And yeah, boy, does that look cheap as hell. And then we got some Wizard of Mars in the middle. I'm pretty sure. Now, for all I know, the Wizard of Mars actually stole their not so special effects from something else.
And what's going on in the bottom one?
Lightning, space lightning. Did we not pay attention in physical science, Doc? Space lightning.
Hey, it might be out there.
Yeah. You
don't know it's not.
Can you prove it didn't happen?
Just because you've never seen it doesn't mean it's not happening.
That sounds like a show from NBC in the 70s. Can you prove it didn't happen? Starring Leonard Nimoy.
I like in the beginning when it was like the Tubiton vampires in a galaxy far, far beyond our solar system. That would be all galaxies are far beyond our solar system. But thank you for playing.
Hey.
Well, there we go. Sex in the future.
You're not wrong, right? Sex in the future.
Sex in the future. It looks like they're just reuniting at the airport after one's been in Japan for 6 months.
So what exactly was the premise here? That they're having sex, but they have to be tied up to the machine because the machine does what? Exactly.
Stimulates their arousal.
Well, they didn't look particularly,
But it was all in their minds.
Oh.
Yeah.
But they're naked.
Yeah, what's the point of getting naked? If it's all in your mind,
Yeah.
Give me some time. I'll think of something. Let's just get off of that.
The top picture is just future sex toys up there of different colors.
Oh no! It's like grab the blue one.
So anyway, this is a little thing like the press sheet came out to explain Spectrum X and goes into this amazing amount of BS about the incredible technique. These filters enable the camera to eliminate specific colors from a particular scene, leaving only one pure color remaining. In other words, a filter. They're like, we got these special filters, and here's what they do. They filter. God, they think we're complete morons.
Mm.
But this was actually, it was black and white, so I guess it's still a filter because it just.
Yeah, you just
put a filter over, in the lens.
You got to make a color copy of the black and white film with the filter over the top. So now,
So they're filming the film.
Yeah,
right?
Again, this is the only version of that Tagini that we've been able to find. So.
Tagini.
All right. So circling back around to the poster, we have the posters of Neil Adams. Which Grizzly everybody knows.
I love Grizzly. That's
knows.
the best poster ever.
And which is probably his most the one that you can most clearly tell is him.
Mm-hmm.
But he did Westworld.
Yeah, I had not known that until I was researching this, and it doesn't look as Neil Adamsy as some of these others do. I didn't know that he did Count Dracula and his Vampire Brides. Which, as Doc pointed out, looks like David Niven more than Christopher Lee, but okay.
Yeah, and what film was that for? The U.S. title for it?
Oh,
Satanic Rites of Dracula.
Boy, I'm drawing blanks tonight. I need more coffee.
But look at that. He did a Jackie Chan one. He did a Chuck Norris one.
Wait, which one's Chuck Norris?
The one on the left, the red one on the left, the bottom.
Slaughter in San Francisco. Oh.
Yep. 16,000 volts of black power.
I like his Batman a lot better than the Batman in the movie.
Yeah. he really, I mean, Neil Adams is the guy. Neil Adams and Denny O'Neil rescued Batman from doom, because when the show was popular, they completely switched over to that style of Batman stories. But Batman, the TV show, only lasted for 2 seasons, and Batman, the comic book, kept that kind of goofy thing going long after they should have quit. And Marvel came and just ate their lunch. DC was like being left behind in the dust, and then people like Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams.
They made a lot of changes. I mean, they took him back to his detective roots. He was more of a detective than a superhero. They, during that whole run, they called him the Batman instead of just Batman. He was like the Batman, like the Shadow, or something like that. Like he's more of a mythic. And they got rid of Robin, so he was back on his own again during that period. So it took it back to greatness.
Yeah,
and he's also famous for doing the Green Lantern, Green Arrow series, where they broke the comic code. They showed drug abuse, and that was forbidden. And they said, well, we're releasing it anyway. And that was pretty much the end of the comic code as a effective censoring device, because
and Marvel did similar with their
Marvel did it as well. Yeah. I mean, once people realized nobody cared about the Comics Code Authority,
Yeah. Has Harry Osborn on drugs.
Yeah. But man, those two issues with Speedy are, oh my God, they're so good.
Oh yeah, it's like shooting up on the cover. It's like, wow.
But
it Comics Code.
Yeah, but I mean, it had depth.
Yeah, it was out of that corny '60s vibe that DC Comics had at the time. Batman versus the robotic dog from outer space, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
it took him.
Ace the Wonder Hound.
Yeah,
Ace the Wonder Hound.
His greatest Batman story is Batman 252, The Joker's Last Laugh.
Yes.
What a great issue. And Neil Adams was the man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No longer with us, but last time I saw him was at a like a Galaxy Con or something, and he had quite a line of people that wanted his autograph on some classic stuff.
Yeah.
Nice guy.
All right. Well, there you go. Al Adams classic Horror of the Blood Monsters. We have covered it. Thank you, Bill.
Oh, you're welcome. Plenty more where that came from.
Dave's like, why am I here?
I don't feel obligated to do any more Al Adamson movies anymore, that I feel like I need to do all the Andy Milligan ones. If you've done one, you've done them all.
Okay.
Okay. But who knows? I mean, another 250 movies, we may be scraping the literal bottom of the barrel. It's like, oh boy, Blood of Ghastly Horror.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, we want to hear from you. What do you think of this movie? What do you think about Adamson? Neil Adams, even anything that we talked about, even hee-haw. We want to hear from you. Let us know what you think. And you can give us some feedback. You can reach out to us at feedback@gruesomemagazine.com if you'd like to do that, or you can leave feedback here on YouTube, over on Facebook, or on Instagram, wherever you'd like to find us. We'd love to hear from you, and we have feedback for this episode from previous episodes. I got tongue-tied and switched to but anyway, the first one is about Arnold, which we covered on episode 260, and it is Jerry Chandler, Bill Mulligan.
Oh, Jerry was on a tear. Boy, we've got a bunch of him. Let's see. Jerry Chandler says of Arnold, I don't know if I've ever seen this. It sounds familiar, like I may have seen it on late night cable one weekend a long time ago, but I'm honestly not sure. Yes, Murder by Death still holds up. Yes, the yellow face and a few gags are horribly dated. And yes, it's close enough to cover. Well, there we go.
There you go.
Private Eyes. Yeah, that one is wonderful. It's a nostalgic favorite of not only Doc and I, but Derek from the Dragon Con horror track. Well, that's a good recommendation there. To dig your own grave is quite a sight, but to bury yourself is not very bright. There are more to kill and the job will be done. Now there are 5. Soon there'll be a lot less.
I can't even learn to rhyme.
That's kind of genius. You need to add that one into the rotation. Like and subscribe. Oh, like liking. Like you're trying to get us to follow Jason Gilbert's Cold Stone series. Shout out to a friend, Jason Gilbert, who writes a series of novels called The Cold Stone. It's about a detective who's a werewolf. Why this is not already a TV show is one of the great mysteries of the ages. It's, you know, they keep giving us, she's a stripper, but she solves crimes. He's a plumber, and while he's plumbing, he sees crimes and solves them. The guy's a werewolf and he solves crimes. I mean, God dang, this is unnatural. He's probably in the middle of solving a crime and the moon comes out. Now he's a werewolf committing more crimes. Someone option this, for the love of God. Moving on. Damnation Alley, the movie the studios bet on instead of Star Wars. You know, Hollywood has always been stupid. There's never been a time it wasn't stupid. We just need to remember that. Not as bad as people make it out to be. Nowhere as good as it should have been. Huh. Hey, you'd think he would have just written us a letter about Damnation Alley then.
Well, coming up next, episode 261 is Damnation Alley. And Jerry Chandler has a novel for us to read. And Chad Hunt has volunteered to read it.
Who volunteered?
Chad Hunt.
Oh, geez. Okay. Look at the link before you record the episode. Oops. Where you read the feedback for this. It's just the intro to a 1970s Saturday morning show that I'm amazed did not come up because of the age ranges on the show and the Damnation Alley link, which is he's got a link to the old show Art 2 from, I guess, what was it, back in the early 80s or late 70s?
1976.
All of 76, yeah.
This show was put into production for a fall 1976 debut. The giant super truck Science Ark was designed by the same guy who designed the one for Damnation Alley and really looks it. Even more interesting is the story concept for Ark 2. I've never seen an interview where it's stated, but this show, in retrospect, feels like something they were launching to capitalize on Damnation Alley's original 1977 release date. Anywho, I loved this movie as a kid. Didn't care about the characters at all, but the truck was awesome. Loved the killer insects as well. Giant scorpions and irradiated, super ravenous killer cockroaches. An adventure across an untamed wasteland. Sign me up for repeat viewings. Then I viewed it in my 20s. I still kind of like the scorpions, cockroaches, and the truck. The rest of it pretty much fell apart. I agree with that. It really is a damn shame they butchered the story the way they did. Even if they didn't want to faithfully do the story from the book, the framework of the story opens up so much potential. This could have been an American Mad Max Road Warrior type of franchise a decade earlier if they had wanted to and done it right. As a kid, I bought into the hype of how dangerous the journey was due to the fact that the second vehicle was just destroyed by the superstorm so early on. As a 20-something, I just wondered why that was necessary. It seemed dumb. You hype the vehicle to the moon, then you destroy one to prove it's not as durable as it could be. They could have just hyped it less and packed the disposable characters into the one vehicle. It would have been too crowded given how fast they killed them off. I think the worst creative storytelling sin of the movie is so many things feeling so incomplete. I don't need everything spelled out for me, but a lot of things just seem to be there to be there. You wanted to know a little more about some things just to make them make sense somehow, but you just got writing that was more akin to super low budget, filmed in a month spectaculars from Corman's Cruise in the Philippines. Even the ending, which I'm assuming was supposed to lead to a sequel, just sort of ends in a meh moment. Yeah, Bill, 2 years isn't long enough for mutations like that. However, these weren't from the bomb blast that started the movie. These were mutant scorpions that had been growing since the original desert bomb tests. They had just been hiding in caves and tunnels for decades because of their smaller population and their desire to hide from the then much more intrusive mankind. and they had been feeding on the giant mice, giant spiders, and giant lizards that had also been mutating into hiding all the time. Wasn't it obvious?
Is it raining in here? Oh no, Jerry's pissing on my leg again. Okay.
Oh.
At one point, Doc says Ginger Lynn is in the film.
Oh.
Then he starts talking about Playboy instead of Paperboy. Cold showers before the show, Doc.
Did I really do that?
Right.
Okay.
Could have been.
Well,
Although Damnation Alley starring Ginger Lynn could have been interesting. Mulligan is inflicting Milligan on you? Y'all act like I'm just joking and you don't believe me, but I'm telling you, he's softening you up for his favorite cannibal film and his all-time favorite horror scene of a cannibal chewing on his own guts. 1970s horror suggestions, the horror at 37,000 feet. You need more Shatner acting in your lives. Gruesome response, R.E. Oh, that was the response for his. Somebody wrote in there, Jeff probably.
Stream of
regarding Arc 3, Arc 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was me.
Okay. Thanks for adding that.
You're welcome.
And confusing the hell out of everyone.
Am I still going on this, Jerry?
Yeah, keep going. You got just a little bit going.
Jeezy Pete. Yup, one season on Saturday mornings. They actually released it on DVD at one point. We're talking about Arc 2 here. There's a short doc about it on YouTube, which we have the link, and I'm sure Doc or Jeff or somebody will put that link in the show notes. And when I went to grab that, I saw that a bunch of episodes had been uploaded there as well.
All right.
That's the end of the novel by Jerry Chad.
All right. Michael Steinberg has this to offer. Loved this movie as a kid. Can't count how many times I watched it on TV. The flesh-eating roaches, is that what they were? In the desert really scared me.
Yeah.
Gregory Crosby is up next. Dave, let us know what he says. And you're on mute.
Hang on, I got to unmute from my hacking. I'm reading Gary Crosby. In the summer of '77, I saw Star Wars 5 times. Only 5 times, Gregory? Slacker. And Damnation Alley just once. Once was enough. But I've never forgotten the man eating roaches or the incredible fake casino set when they reach Vegas.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
The lights never go out in Vegas. Pretty sure a nuclear war would definitely take out the lights of Las Vegas. Anyway, not a great film, but doubtless an inspiration to dune preppers and nerdy RV enthusiasts everywhere.
Oh, nice. And Manny Lamont ends up our feedback for tonight. Bill, what does Manny have to say?
Manny says of Damnation Alley, I remember seeing this film on TNT Monster Vision. I always preferred Metal Storm, the destruction of Jared Sin over it, though both movies aren't very good. So they got that going for them.
That means we'll cover it sometime in the
probably.
future.
Metal Storm is arguably more watchable as an adult. I think the concept of rad roaches or man-eating roaches was borrowed later by the Fallout franchise. I thought the goofy truck reminded me of the Thundercats tank, only worse looking.
Oh.
Wow, shots fired.
All right, yeah, really. That is our feedback for tonight. Thank you all for giving us wonderful things to read here on the show. Jerry Chandler and Jerry Chandler again. Thank you. Thank you as always.
Dave has managed to give his cough to Chad somehow.
Yeah, I'll tell you what's going on.
And of course, Michael Steinberg, Gregory Crosby, and Manny Lamont. 57. All right, we do this every 2 weeks. And our next episode has one film that we've been talking about.
Oh boy,
it comes up. It seems like just regularly and spontaneously in episodes, but we're finally found a copy. Finally
pulling the trigger.
And Dave Dreyer picked it. So Dave, please share loudly, if you will, what this film is.
Well, I think we talked about it earlier in the show, but it's Kiss meets the Phantom of the Park, 1978.
Yay!
Yeah.
I've waited 10 years for us to do this movie.
Yes, you have.
I'll tell you what.
This is going to be great. Kiss is like the Kiss is the greatest band ever, and it's being directed by the guy who did the Golden Voyage of Sinbad. It can't be bad.
It can
And it's
be.
a Hanna-Barbera
Yeah,
production.
and produced by
Yeah.
Hanna-Barbera. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I thought right up until 10 minutes in.
Well, as a teenager in the late 70s, this was the one we all waited for, right? I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
Oh,
the
yes.
event. This was the
we
event.
talked about this all week.
Yeah. So
We were
Oh,
going to
my
show our parents just how cool Kiss
We
really was.
were.
They were going to
in
eat their
fairness, and
words.
I'm sure we'll talk about this when we do it. In fairness, the concert scenes were shot pretty well.
Yeah.
The actual
Yeah.
concert scenes, the actual Kiss performing.
Mhm.
They kind of captured the spirit of the show, if you will.
Mhm.
My dad gave me so much shit for watching this movie.
Oh, my
Yeah,
God. Oh,
he had to watch it.
It was
So
an
much.
adventure for me to just be able to see it. I had to go. I'll talk about it on the
Yeah.
show.
I think this is one of those things where the stories of us watching it will be way better than the story of the actual film.
I don't know.
Yeah.
There's some stories about this film that might be.
Oh, there are
interesting.
some really good ones.
But
Woo.
I literally have not seen it since back in the day. I've seen clips, but I haven't watched the entire thing.
I just watched it a little bit ago. It's exactly the way you remember it.
Okay,
Yeah.
Nothing
Or
has
worse.
changed.
Yeah.
cannot wait.
When we
All
found
right.
when we found the link, I rewatched it. I probably hadn't seen it in 30 years.
Yep,
But it is what it is.
it is exactly what it is.
Mhm.
Oh my god,
I can't wait.
I can't. I don't want to say anymore because there's so much to say on our next episode. I'm sure we'll have feedback. I'm sure before we even get to reviewing the film.
Probably.
Anybody watch this far, or just read that? That's the next one. All right. Well, it's that time of night when I say Dave, Bill, Chad, thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you for putting up with my post-nasal drip.
No,
No
that sounds like a bad band.
Mm.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming up on stage.
They open for
All right.
Dire Straits, yeah.
Ah,
It does sound like a cool punk rock band.
Oh, yeah. That'd be great.
You could say they blow. Get it? They blow.
oh,
Post-nasal. They
whoa.
blow.
Run out on stage, boys.
We're just waiting for that joke to bounce back.
Sponsored
up.
by Mucinex.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
That's the lead
public-
guitarist, the Booger Man from the Mucinex
Oh,
commercial.
jeez.
Oh, jeez.
They along with Gore. Gore would be they would open for Gore if that was the thing. All right. With all that being said, please, let's say good night.
Good night.
Hey, everybody.
Good night.